Chris Paul announces his retirement. Where does he rank on the top 10 all-time point guard list? What is his legacy? What does this mean for the Clippers? Also, an NBA legend, Chris Paul, is done. What does this mean for Kawhi Leonard? Is this Clippers team cooked? Also, the Rams, they sign a linebacker to a 3-year extension, a breakout linebacker. Was this a good deal? We've got details of the deal. USC is up in Eugene taking on the Oregon Ducks for what is essentially a playoff game. If the Trojans win, they could be CFP bound. The biggest game in Lincoln Riley's tenure with the Trojans. I got my 3 big keys for USC. And we've got some Dodgers talk as always. Alex Bregman, a Los Angeles Dodger. That's coming up next on the LA Sports Report. LA is the sports capital of the world. The Lakers have entered their Luka Doncic era. LeBron doesn't just want a farewell tour, he wants a farewell title. The Rams are going to win the Super Bowl. Go, Kings, go! The Dodgers are the best run franchise in all of professional sports. Shohei Ohtani is the GOAT. Steve Ballmer will do anything to get the Clippers a championship. Mick Cronin has to win a national championship at UCLA. Justin Herbert is a top 5 quarterback in this league. College football is just better when USC is good. This whole city has the Mamba mentality. I love LA.
Live from the heart of Los Angeles, this is the LA Sports Report with your host, Doug McKain.
What is up, and welcome to the LA Sports Report. My name is Doug McKain. I've covered LA sports for over a decade. 24/7 Sports, Bleacher Report, SI, Dodgers Nation, Westwood One. The LA Sports Report, the fastest growing LA Sports YouTube channel and show. Are you the number one daily LA Sports podcast that covers all LA sports? The Lakers, the Dodgers, the Rams, the Chargers, UCLA, USC, the Clippers, LAFC. If we're talking about the world of LA sports, we're talking about it right here. You know I'm loyal to the soil, and I love all LA sports, NBA, NFL, MLB, college football, college basketball, whatever it is we're talking about here. So hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, drop a like and drop a comment too, because we're getting close to 4,000 subs in less than a month. And once we hit that, we're giving away a Luka Doncic jersey. I got my LA Kings hat. Pretty crispy, if you ask me. Here on a Saturday show, we've got, happy to be a part of this early 4K. We all know this channel is up in the sky. Hey, V to the BEC. I appreciate you, my man. A day one. Biz says, Alex Bregman, no effing way. Rage bait, D-Mac, Lou. Look, hey, we'll talk about that. Trust you. What's good, D-Mac? What's good, Ezekiel? But let's get right into the biggest story here in Los Angeles today, and that is that the point guard, Chris Paul, he essentially has announced his retirement, and then Shams Charania, he came out and confirmed it. But this morning, Chris Paul, he dropped this on his social media platforms, on X, on Instagram, because today is going to be his last game in his home state of North Carolina. The Clippers taking on the Hornets, and this was Chris Paul's post, and this is pretty fire if you ask me. CP3 retiring after this season. Congratulations to Chris Paul on what's going to be a future first ballot Hall of Fame career. One of the best point guards in NBA history. I think if you look at the top 10 list, my top 5 point guards of all time, there is no other than the Magic Man. He is number one. He is the definition of a point guard because he can facilitate. He had the size, could score if he wanted to, just control the game. Go watch Magic Johnson's highlights from the Showtime era. I'd argue that those are the best highlights you'll ever see from any NBA player in the history of the sport. Magic is still number one for me. He is the number one point guard in NBA history. Number 2, Steph Curry, just because, look, he's the best shooter of all time, but I have an issue just calling him a point guard. I think that he's really a hybrid, someone that really ushered in just a new era of shooting when it comes to field goal and 3-point attempts. Steph Curry is the best shooter that's ever walked this earth. But as far as just true point guard abilities, distributing, yeah, he can pass the ball. He can facilitate. He can find open guys and get assists, but he's known for his shooting. He's number 2. Number 3, I think it's tough to go Oscar Robertson at 3. And then I think you start talking about Chris Paul. I think Chris Paul is in that tier with the Bob Cousy's, the Steve Nash's, the Jason Kidds, the Gary Paytons, the Russell Westbrooks, John Stocktons. I think you could argue that he's ahead of all those guys. And you guys know Russell Westbrook is my guy. I love me some Russ. He's one of the best players of all time. If you're looking at top 75, he made that list. But Chris Paul, one of the greatest ever to do it. Chris Paul is definitely going to leave a legacy that I don't think that his career averages truly reflect his greatness. He averaged 16.9 points per game, 9.2 assists, 4.4 rebounds, 2 assists per game, shot 46.9% from the field and 36.9% from the three-point range. He was recognized as one of NBA's 75 greatest players. He has a 21-year career, which is just so impressive. The longevity when he came out of Wake Forest, when he did, a 12-time All-Star, an 11-time All-NBA team selection member. And I think what's also so impressive, considering this is not a big guy, this is not a tall guy by any means, standing at 5'11", 6 feet, listed at 6 feet. I think he's more like 5'11", to make 9 All-NBA defensive teams. 9 defensive teams. I think that really speaks to his greatness for sure. And I think what really, really kills me for Chris Paul is a couple things. The first thing, why David Stern vetoed that trade from Chris Paul to the Lakers. Chris Paul should have been a Los Angeles Laker, and he should have won a title with Kobe Bryant. And I also think that Kobe might not have torn his Achilles if he didn't have to have the ball handling duties as much as he did with those Mike D'Antoni teams. But to rewind for a quick second, one of the worst moments in NBA basketball, Lakers NBA history is when David Stern vetoed the trade. In a quick rewind, the proposed trade would have sent Chris Paul to Lakers, Pau Gasol to the Houston Rockets. Thank you for your services, Pau. At that point, you would have definitely taken CP over Pau. And Lamar Odom, Luis Scola, Kevin Martin, Goran Dragic, and a 2012 first-round pick to the Hornets. The deal was done, but NBA Commissioner David Stern, who was overseeing the New Orleans Hornets due to the ownership situation, he decided to veto the trade. He cited, quote, basketball reasons for his decision, and he was suggesting that the trade didn't make sense from a basketball perspective for all teams involved, and it was just ridiculous. Chris Paul should have been a Laker. He should have won a title, and I look at the loser owner that is Dan Gilbert, the biggest hater on the planet. Dan Gilbert, his email to David Stern saying, I just don't see how we can allow this trade to happen. I know the vast majority of owners feel the same way that I do. Why don't we just change the name of the 25 to 30 teams of the Washington Generals? Straight up hater. Just an absolute travesty that Chris Paul wasn't a Laker. And for as great as his career was, yeah, Iverson is definitely up there too. I got Iverson up there too. I think his flash was so high. His MVP. Russ was an MVP. Definitely, certainly, you could throw him in that mix for sure. But the other thing that if you're Chris Paul, you don't want to be on this list of players that have played the most career games without an NBA title. And the Clippers are 4-11. They've lost 3 straight games. They're currently a game out of the 10 spot for the play-in tournament. Paul has appeared in 10 games this season, averaging 2.5 points, 1.8 rebounds, 3.3 assists, and 1 steal in 13.7 minutes off the bench. He's been really a leader during this tough stretch. We know that if he wanted to get into coaching, he'd be great. Broadcasting, great. He's got a great future no matter what he does. But he's 6th all-time in games played without an NBA Finals appearance. And unfortunately, that number is probably going to climb, and he's not going to win an NBA championship. Right now, the most career games played without an NBA title, Vince Carter, 1,541. John Stockton, 1,504. Karl Malone, 1,476. Reggie Miller, 1,389. Clifford Robinson, 1,380. And Chris Paul, 1,364. So only 5 guys have played more games without winning an NBA championship than Chris Paul. Chris Paul, you gotta respect him. You gotta respect him. Christopher Emmanuel Paul. Got to throw out his government name there really quick. And he's going to retire. And those early days with the Hornets, he was so good, and he was just the point guard. I mean, just what other thing that hurts too, other than that Laker trade, is the Rockets here to the Warriors. That Rockets team, they gave that Warriors team, a run for their money. That 2018 Western Conference Finals, where it really looked like they had that Warriors team on the ropes with Kevin Durant, and the Rockets were going to be the team that was going to be able to knock them off. Unfortunately, Chris Paul played in 5 games that series. He hurt his hamstring, and that's kind of a part of his history too, is just the injuries that he suffered in big moments that forced him out of those games. So, yeah, you feel for Chris Paul. You feel for him not getting that championship. But the Clippers as a whole, by the way, I mean, they are in trouble this season. Like we said, they're in the 10th seed. You got a lot of aging veterans. You got a lot of guys on that team that you already lose Bradley Beal. But the good news for the Clippers is they are going to get Kawhi Leonard back on Sunday. The Claw is going to be back. 6-time All-Star, hasn't played since November 3rd due to that ankle injury. He's going to miss tonight's game. That will be his 10th straight. Clippers are 1-8 without Kawhi Leonard. And he's still just 34 years old. He's averaging 24.3 points per game, 5.7 boards, 3.5 assists, 2.5 steals in 6 games. But it's the injuries. So we'll see. Are the Clippers cooked? I mean, right now it's not looking good. An old team. I think if I was the Clippers, clearly they don't have a lot of assets, but they need to create a buzz in one way or another, because there's a couple ways you can create a buzz in Los Angeles. You can create a buzz by being a really good team and winning a lot of games, or you can create a buzz by getting a player that's interesting, getting a player that moves the needle, that puts butts in the seats. I got my Kings hat on. They didn't win a Stanley Cup with Wayne Gretzky, but they were the hottest ticket in town when he was here in the early 90s. I'm trying to get LaMelo Ball if I'm the Los Angeles Clippers. And LaMelo did shut down those rumors, said that they didn't come from him, that he wanted out of Charlotte, that things weren't going right. But that's who they're playing tonight. And LaMelo Ball and the Clippers, love the Clippers, hate the Clippers. You'd be more interested in at least watching the Clippers with the Chino Hills kid playing for that franchise. But we got Muad'Dib, go Kings, go. Muad'Dib, Clippers are lame like the Chargers, Angels, and Ducks. Kawhi Leonard misses more games than Chris Paul. It's from Steve Schmidt. We've got Dant. LeBron is next to retire. We got Craig. I keep cutting off, really? Let me see. Let me give me a update on the audio, guys, making sure we're good on the audio front. Hello. There we go. I think we're solid here. Let me double check. Audio good. Okay, awesome. All right, switching gears. We're going to talk some football. Switching gears to the Los Angeles Rams. I need my Rams theme music. The Los Angeles Rams have signed linebacker Nate Landman to an extension. The details of the deal are as follows. It's a 3-year extension worth $22.5 million. It includes a $15.6 million guaranteed pact. So $15.6 million in guarantees. That's a really good deal for a guy that was essentially on a minimum this season, was really just the talk of the Rams early on. The peanut punch. He has this knack of knocking the ball out. It's saved games this season. Nate Peanut Punch Landman. He's caused more fumbles than anyone in the NFL in the last 3 seasons. And in 10 games this year, 91 tackles, 4 for a loss, 4 passes defensed, 4 forced fumbles. That's the most in the NFL. 3 quarterback hits, 2 fumbles recovered, and 1.5 sacks. He's been an absolute force for this Rams defense. He's a captain for this defense. He wears the green dot for Chris Shula's defense, where he calls out the signals, calls out the plays, and he's one of the biggest reasons why the Rams have improved this season against the run, just being a complete unit. They're second in the NFL in points allowed per game at 17.2 points per game, and now they've locked him up for the next couple of seasons. I think it's just a massive day for Nate Landman, and just a great success story. I mean, this is one of the great come-ups in the NFL this season, and he was an absolute bargain, a steal. He signed a $1.1 million deal. That's the veteran's minimum after spending his first 4 seasons with the Atlanta Falcons. And when you look at some of his comps, for example, Zach Bond, he signed with the Philadelphia Eagles this past offseason in a deal that is worth $51 million for 3 years. And Landman, you look at his advanced stuff, you look at some of the metrics, he is the 8th highest graded off-ball linebacker in the NFL with a 74.1 defensive grade and 80.5 run grade. He's just an absolute stud that the Rams identified. They developed to a degree, and I think that was just a major feather in Les Snead and the player development staff. So, look, I mean, for this defense, they are one of the most inexpensive defenses in the NFL. The Rams don't have these mega contracts out on that side of the ball, so they're trying to invest. And he was cheap as a one-year guy, and really relative to a production as just an incredible glue guy that, yes, maybe he's not an all-pro level player, but really you kind of look at the grit that he plays with, what he means for this defense in particular. $7 million a year for a guy with that kind of production, that's not a bad deal at all. That's great value for someone who's not just good on the field, he's good in the locker room, he's good at practice, he's good for a lot of different reasons for this Rams team. And I think, too, he fits Rams culture, and that's always something that's important for this team. The we, not me type of culture, right? It's we. In the Sean McVay office, there's a big sign that says we, and it's working equals enjoyment. And this is a little Landman treat. They just lock him in there. And I guess you could say that Nate Landman is landlocked with the Rams at this point. So you love to see that. Appreciate the Falcons, too. I love the Falcons. Don't you love the Falcons? You let Nate Landman walk. You traded the Rams their first-round pick to get James Pierce. He's been essentially a bust so far, and the Rams are looking at at least a top 10 pick in the NFL draft in 2026. So the Falcons are the gift that keeps giving. I will say next extension I want to see is for Quinn Lake. I'm hoping to see a Quinn Lake extension too. But, yeah, the Rams got more land today for sure. And fits into this defense. Inexpensive deal considering the production, and just a very smart move. A very smart move. Muad'Dib says, is Raheem Morris a secret agent? There is no Iron Rams. I like that. Yo, what up, DMAC_LA? What up, Soul the Smoke? What's up, Aesthetic Delta LFG? Good signing. He's played well. Nando! Is this our first Nando signing? Kawhi is the Rendon of basketball. It's a fire take. Anthony Rendon is the worst contract in baseball history. Worst contract in baseball history. Don't make me start on Anthony Rendon. Can you believe this? He's entering the final year of his 7-year, $245 million deal. In the first 6 years, Anthony Rendon, who's absolutely stealing, he's a thief, a 3.7 F-WAR. That is what he's posted in 257 games, with 2.5 coming in the first year. A catastrophic disaster. A disaster. And he's the guy. Oh, I think that remember last year he was saying that the baseball schedule is too long. Bro, you don't even play the baseball schedule. He wanted Major League Baseball to shorten the season. Yeah, I'm pretty sure Angels fans want to shorten your contract. Some players hate baseballs like Shohei Ohtani because he hits them really hard out of the stadium. Some players hate baseball, and I think Anthony Rendon is one of those guys. I don't know how we got here. Nando got us here. But yeah, that they are technically the Los Angeles Angels. So we will kind of talk about them occasionally on this show because it is the LA Sports Report. But yeah, worst contract ever. All right, let's switch gears. It's going to be a quick show on this one. USC, minutes away from kickoff, taking on the Oregon Ducks. And this is set to be one of the biggest games for Lincoln Riley's career. If he can win this game, this will be his biggest win. This will be his defining win for the Trojans as a head coach. They play UCLA next week, and yes, you guys know I'm a Bruin, but I also keep it 100 with you. Anything can happen in that game. It's in the Coliseum, but USC should be able to at least take care of business. If they don't, heads should roll down by the Coliseum. But today is a massive opportunity for USC to be USC again and win these types of games and show that they are the blue blood marquee program of the West Coast. Who are the top 5 programs in college football history? You start with Alabama, then you go to Ohio State. I think those are the two that are in their own tier. I think Bama's right at 1. I think Ohio State's right at 2. And then you start to have the debate, hey, who finishes out that list? Who are the top programs in college football history after that? I think you look at USC as a program that could definitely make a case of being there. I mean, I look at a USC team with the Rose Bowls, with the national championships, with what they've been able to accomplish. You can throw Notre Dame's history in there. You can look at Oklahoma's history if we're looking at the entire history of the sport. Michigan certainly is a part of that conversation. But I think it's Alabama, Ohio State. Then it's Notre Dame, USC, Oklahoma, Michigan. That's the group right there. But the truth is, outside of those top 2 with Alabama and Ohio State, USC, you could argue, is right there, even at 3. I mean, 9 national titles, all the Notre Dame wins, and the Rose Bowl victories that they've had. John McKay and Pete Carroll kind of redefining college football in the early 2000s. Miami, if they go another run, who knows? But yeah, I definitely think that today is one of those days where USC has such a golden opportunity to get back to being the program that they think they are, that they want to be, the standard that they have. And here's my biggest keys for a win today at Oregon. Number 1 key, stopping the run. If you can stop the run or at least slow it down, you can win this football game. It is the number 1 biggest key. Deonton Lynn, the USC defensive coordinator, was asked about Oregon's run game, and he said, quote, "It doesn't matter what back they put out there. All their backs have the ability to make a big play. They can create all they need to. They break tackles. They're good in space. They use them in the passing game as well. They really, really make you defend the entire field. If you can stop the run, you can win this football game." Here's a perfect example. Here's evidence. Here's proof of concept. The number 2 Indiana Hoosiers were 7.5-point underdogs when they went to Eugene to take on the Ducks. They held the Ducks to 81 yards on the ground. That was their lowest rushing output all season, and the Ducks lost that game 30-20, and Indiana snapped their 18-game home winning streak. Moore is a guy that you can neutralize as well, but you got to find a way to stop the runs. And USC fans, they know what it's like to stop the run when they need to. When they faced number 15 Michigan, they held them to 109 yards on the ground. They did a great job second half against Iowa. So USC can certainly put themselves in a great position if they can find a way to stop that run game. I think the second biggest key, get out to a lead early if you're Oregon. I mean, if you're USC, and do it with Mekhi Lemon, do it with the number one passing offense in college football, with one of the best offensive coordinators that we've seen the last 2 decades in Lincoln Riley. Go out there and punch them in the mouth. Punch them in the mouth if you're USC. Because, look, let's just call it what it is. Oregon kind of has an inferiority complex. They really do. And that inferiority complex is, the O on our helmet stands for 0 national championships, right? And I still think that Oregon, modern day, they are a tier 1 program. The only thing that they're missing is a national championship. But they look at teams like USC and they kind of think to themselves, okay, hey, can they come into Eugene and beat us? And if USC can get up to a 14-point lead and force Dante Moore to have to make some throws, and you put them in obvious passing situations, you maybe create a turnover or two, you can punch them in the mouth, and then Oregon starts to think to themselves, oh, wow, we're just Oregon and they're USC, and it's going to be history all over again. You just don't want to see that. If you're Oregon, if you're USC, they're a great front-running team, and the offense gets going, Jada Maiava and the rest of this group with Mekhi Leonard and Lane and King and everything they bring offensively, I could certainly see them jumping out and getting confidence. Now, another thing I want to see, too, another big key of this game, get Jada Maiava on the ground. Get him at least 5 to 10 rushing attempts in this one. In the Notre Dame game, the Irish, they were in tight coverage, and Maiava, he did not get anything on the ground. I think that's one of the biggest reasons why they lost, because you saw Notre Dame, they just kind of loaded the box a little bit. They teed off on those USC running backs and receivers. Make that defense honest by showing that you're a threat on the ground. And you got a very tough Oregon defense, so get something on the ground. Some other ones, give me at least 1 turnover. Give me 1 turnover for USC. And we know if you win the turnover margin, you put yourself in a really good spot against most teams. In both USC and Oregon, they're one of the best in turnover margins. The Ducks are +5, the USC is +4. So both teams are going to be looking at that. And another thing, too, you just can't get beat by those explosives, and that is the biggest key. 6 rushes of 10-plus yards or more by Oregon, you can't have things like that. USC needs to find a way to keep that run game in check, get out to a big lead, and I think USC wins today. I'm picking USC to win in Eugene. Give me USC 29-23. A nail-biter against the Ducks. Lincoln Riley finally gets his first real... Let's run that back. You guys know, true Bruin, but I got to stay objective. I got to keep it 100 with you. I can't let biases get in the way. My only goal is to give you the truth. And the truth is, there's something special about this USC offense. They've been waiting for an opportunity to have a defining game like this, and I got USC winning today 29-23. Drop your predictions down below. Okay, we'll finish today with some Dodgers talk, and we'll talk some Alex Bregman. Alex Bregman to the Dodgers. Could the Dodgers get Alex Bregman? And I know this is some nightmare fuel. I know that Dodgers fans who don't want to see this, I get it. But there is an MLB writer out there that predicts that the Dodgers will sign Alex Bregman to a $120 million contract. He writes, this is from our guy, Jake Ellman. He writes, rather than break the bank for Tucker and bolster their outfield, maybe the Dodgers should instead turn their attention to the infield and set their sights on Boston Red Sox third baseman Alex Bregman. Although the Dodgers recently picked up Max Muncy's $10 million option, he turns 36 in August and is in the final year of his contract. Muncy remains an immensely valuable hitter. He's quietly posted a 27.2 BWAR, 842 OPS, and an excellent 15.4% walk rate since becoming a full-time player in 2018. and he makes sense for plenty of teams as a stopgap third baseman. This past season, Bregman hit 273, 360, 462, and 821 OPS and 28 doubles, 18 home runs, and 60 RBIs, 114 games played. So what he suggests is, hey, you bring in Alex Bregman, maybe you trade Max Muncy, and is Alex Bregman a better bat than Max Muncy? I think there's no doubt about that when he's right. Is Alex Bregman a better defensive third baseman than Max Muncy? He's 3 outs above average. There's no doubt about that. But he's Alex Bregman. He's a trash throw. He'll always be a trash throw. The only way I think you could justify this is by saying, hey, instead of getting a handful of games to boo him every season, you could get him for 81 games and boo him every night if you're a Dodgers fan. Of course, I only kid. I will say that for me, if I'm going to shell out that kind of money, I would much rather throw that at Cody Bellinger. I would much rather throw that at Bo Bichette. I would much rather throw that at trying to get Corey Seager back and moving some things around. Alex Bregman is really good. He absolutely is a really good hitter. He's a plus defender. But Alex Bregman on the Dodgers is vomit-inducing. Ugh. I forgot what I was about to say. The Astros just stole my thoughts. It just stole my next take. All jokes aside, I mean, a 125 weighted runs created plus, that's the same thing that Cody Bellinger put up last year, and you're already going to have Muncy at third, and you need more outfield help. So for me, in the words of the great Randy Jackson, that's a no from me, dog. No Alex Bregman for me. Not happening. No way, no how. I think for me, if I'm doing my top list of Dodgers or of possible transactions, I mean, I still got Devin Williams in that mix. Byron Buxton as a trade. The biggest dream, the number one dream this offseason would be to trade for Tarek Skubal. I know you think I'm getting greedy with my starters, but they've need starters for the last couple years. But give me Tarek Skubal, Cody Bellinger, so basically the outfielders, I'll rank them. Byron Buxton 1 because I like the fact it's only a 2-year deal, $45 million. His timeline matches the timeline with the current stars of the Dodgers in this core with Freddie and Mookie and Shohei and the group that they have right now. So give me Buxton 1, Bellinger 2, Jarren Duran 3, Abreu 4. I still got Brendan Donovan, definitely as someone that I would certainly welcome in a trade. And then as far as closers go, give me Devin Williams. And for the starter, give me Tarek Skubal. That'd be kind of where I'm at as far as my dream offseason right now. But that's going to do it for this episode of the LA Sports Report, a Saturday episode. Give me your takes on Alex Bregman. Ugh. We got Justin Lamas. Even as an LA fan, I'm tired of the 2017 narrative. I care more about winning in 2026 and 2017. Here's the thing. I agree with you to a degree. I really, as far as, look, if it was the right player that would help you win, I understand that. But the truth is, why would you want Alex Bregman over some of the other guys you could get where you are going to have to invest money into? And I just don't think that Bregman is good enough as a player. He's not a great hitter anymore. He's a really good hitter. He's not great, though. He's a good defender. He's not great, though. I mean, he's kind of got some Kyle Tucker in his game where they're not particularly elite at one thing in particular. So for me, it's I don't even need to get to the 2017 Astros thing, even though it is a factor for me. I'm telling you, covering this team, I've had families come up to me and tell me that the Astros robbed family members who died from seeing a World Series. So that is certainly a thing. But I don't even think I even need to get to that part of the conversation just because there's players that I would rather have. Muad'Dib says Landman over Bregman. All right, guys, enjoy the games. See you tomorrow. I'm going to be on the road in Orlando and in Florida next week for Thanksgiving, visiting some family. So I will bring the show on the road. Might not have the crazy background, but it's going to be a lot of fun. We'll make sure we get content for you guys. So thanks for everything, guys. And if you haven't yet, subscribe, hit the notification, hit the like button for your Los Angeles sports teams. And Follow me on X and Instagram at DMAC_LA. Hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, drop a like, comment, LASR. If you guys want to nickname the show, call it Laser, the LA Sports Report with Doug McKain. And remember, there's a lot of great cities out there, but Los Angeles is the city of champions. LA is the sports capital of the world. The Lakers have entered their Luka Doncic era. LeBron doesn't just want a farewell tour, he wants a farewell title. The Rams are going to win the Super Bowl. Go, Kings, go. The Dodgers are the best run franchise in all of professional sports. Shohei Ohtani is the GOAT. Steve Ballmer will do anything to get the Clippers a championship. Mick Cronin has to win a national championship at UCLA. Justin Herbert is a top 5 quarterback in this league. College football is just better when USC